Hi, good evening, all. First of all, thank you for the session. So, my question is it's been quite a long time that I've been trying to apply for jobs, but I'm not getting any interview calls. I've got my resume reviewed from people, and they say there's nothing wrong with the resume. So, I've just I'm trying to get an advice what I might be doing wrong. As in, I've not even got a single call.
Okay, let's give it to all the hard question to Karthika. Karthika. So Karthika, I'll generalize the question. Why do
Mhm.
the candidates not receiving calls or emails even though they are applying for hundreds of jobs?
See, it again depends, not on the quantity or the number of the jobs that you're applying to. It depends on I mean, if you are kind of, do you meet the requirement for the position or do you meet the skills they're asking for? I have seen, I think I was talking to Sudheer the other day and I had this one position open 2 weeks back for a QA role and I got some 250 plus applicants. And that was just through, I didn't even post it on, it was not a LinkedIn post. I just randomly put it on my wall. And from there, I got these many resumes. So it was all through emails. So there were no filters. I had to literally go through all the resumes. And unfortunately, there were not a single applicant I could contact because they were all from India. They saw the opening, they just applied. So first you have to look into the fact that just check with yourself, like the jobs that you're applying to, is it relevant to your experience? Do you meet all the requirements, at least 80 to 85% of the requirement they are asking for? If not, at least get in touch with the recruiter through LinkedIn or the HR person there, and try to get connected with them and then understand the position, and then you apply for the position. Otherwise, if you're applying on LinkedIn or on the job portal, try to find the hiring person there on LinkedIn, get in touch with them, send a message on LinkedIn. So this has happened to me multiple times. Like, I see candidates sending me resumes, and then again on the other side I see, okay, this person has messaged me on LinkedIn as well. So I see that, okay, this person is really interested in this particular job, let me look into the profile. Then I review the profile, I have a call with them, understand and review the profile and see if they're a good fit for the position or not, and advise them accordingly. The reason why people might not be, again, it is my point of view, the reason why people might not be getting back to us because, like I mentioned, like, we are getting like 200 plus applications, and sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to respond to each and every person. So that is the reason sometimes in the post you will see that, candidates who are eligible or who qualify will be contacted. So that means that you are, maybe they are not contacting you because your profile is not qualifying for the role. So first and foremost thing you have to understand is, whenever you're applying for a job, make sure that you are meeting all the requirements for the role. Otherwise, there might be, like, when I'm getting these, say, 15 resumes, out of which, say, you are one of them, but out of these 15 resumes there might be 10 or 8 profiles who are the exact match for the role. Then as a recruiter, like, why would I call you for an interview? I hope this answers the question.
I'll,
I
I'll
have a
let
question.
Sajith also to add. Yeah,
You know, I have
Sajith.
a question for Karthika. I want to know how Karthika does it, whether it's similar to how I do it. Karthika, let's say you get this 250 profiles, right? Do you screen all the 250 profiles and then shortlist some 10, 15 of them, or do you do in batches? And so how I do is I'll take the first 50. If I get some 3, 4 candidates among the first 50, I share it with the hiring manager. My hiring manager will interview max to max 5 to 6 profile. I try to reduce it between 3 to 4, but max, let's say a difficult role, max to max 5 to 6 interviews, and we are done with the interview process. So if I get it in the first batch, fine. If I don't get it in the first batch, let's say 7 candidates, then I go to the next 50, right? Eventually what happens is the other 150 will never be screened because I have met my target. Is that how you do it?
So again, that depends, Sajid, because if there are certain niche roles that come up, and it is difficult to find profiles, so I will screen all the resumes that are coming. Like, for example, this QA role, that, I mean, just a recent example that I'm talking about. I kind of reviewed all the 200. I mean, not maybe like 250 resumes, but 200 plus resumes I reviewed. I went through each and every resume just to see if anyone is a match that I can call them. But there are roles like BA positions or PM. There are like so many roles that, like, we get profiles quickly and they match the requirements. So it would be maybe like the first 10 that I review, and like, I mean, we don't have an option to submit a profile, and then if that is not a good fit, then again submit another profile. Because we are working like in an agency, and there are like maybe like 10 other agency working for the same position. We get like one chance to submit a profile, right? So we don't have an option to go back and forth, so we have to submit a strong profile. So some cases, yeah, I mean, most of the cases I would say, like, we look at the first 10-15 resumes, and if I find a good match, I just go ahead with them and might not look at the rest of the resumes.
Thanks, Karthika. Sajid, can you please add why the candidates are not getting calls? Sajid?
Yeah, demand and supply is one big factor, right? Now there are more, in the sense, and also this is, since there are more number of candidates in the market, unless the profile is an exact match, the hiring managers also will not be open to take a risk with the candidate. They'll say, let's look at another candidate, other candidates who are a perfect match, right? Everybody is looking at plug and play. You have all the skills. Now when I say skills, right, now, if let's say I put Excel in my resume, that I'm good in Excel, we are looking at deep knowledge, not just, okay, I know how to use Excel, I learned Excel in my 10th grade, and I know how to use Excel. Okay, that is not the case. If Now let's say, I'll give you my example. If I'm saying I have done campus recruitment, and right now for the last 10 years I've not done any campus recruitment, and I apply for a post which campus recruitment is mandatory, right? The hiring manager will not shortlist my profile, because even though I started the beginning of my career in campus recruitment, I know end to end campus recruitment, I can do it, but I've been away from it for quite some time. Right now, that is one big challenge, because nobody has a time to say that, hey, you have done it in the past and you can brush it up. That is one. New technologies. Now let's say it's a new technology, you're not, uh, if you just there because of the keyword and it doesn't highlight based on the projects that you have worked on, right? There also you have lost. Now one thing that people do is they put all the keywords just for the resume to come up in front of the recruiter. Now, Karthika, I don't know whether you'll agree with me. We have very strong, this is our day-to-day job, right? In your sleep, like Sudheer said, in your sleep also, if you ask me what it is, I will be able to, because this is what we do every day, right? So when we look at a profile, we understand whether this particular person skills match with what it is. If their projects, if it doesn't, it's only your, just put the keywords, we know it. One 30-minute conversation with a candidate, we know whether you're a strong candidate or not. And like Karthika said, we also have to put the best candidates in front of the hiring manager, so that the process is completed quickly. So our job is to filter out all the candidates who don't match, and find the right set of candidates who will fit the role. So that is the challenge that we have, and that is why most of the candidates are not looked upon.
Thank you, Sujit. And I would like to add here, there are certain conditions for to apply for most of the jobs. The first one is you should be authorized to work in Canada. And again, I'm not getting into the details of the work authorization. If you are in a student visa trying to apply, you will not get it. If you are in a visitor visa, chances are less. If you are applying from outside of Canada, looking for LMIA, chances are less, because most of the jobs what recruiters post might not give the LMIA. The second criteria is you need to be currently present in Canada, right? Imagine if you go on a vacation, that's fine. But if you are planning to get a job, then come to Canada, the chances are very, very, very less, because the number of candidates currently here in Canada and get ready to start is it's already very high. So if you're not in Canada, you are trying to apply for a job in Canada with your Canadian number, you do all hooks and tricks. Finally, until and unless you have the SIN and all, it's very tough to get through the job. The third is the location. If you are applying for, most of the jobs are right now hybrid. If you are applying for a hybrid job, you need to be in the same town, at least if it is a GTA. So if you're in Calgary trying to apply for a GTA, you will get selected only if it is 100% remote, because recruiters mostly prefer the candidates who is local. Fourth one is the skill set. Okay, they have to have the skill set. Nobody allows you to get into the industry or get into the job then start learning. No, they will actually want you to learn before you get into the job. So whoever is trying to learn new technologies, new tools and all, they have a better chance rather than telling that give me a job, I'll learn it after getting into the organization. Because Every month they pay you $4,000 salary, or $4,000 to $6,000. So 2 months it takes you to learn that tool. It is $10,000 for the company. It's a cost for the company. So nobody prefers that. So they usually prefer. Again, I'm telling in general, but there will be certain circumstances where all these like people in visit visa might have got. But yeah, that is very 0.0001%. 99.9 percentage of the jobs, the recruiters will look for these kinds of conditions. So have your resume ready, have your skill set polished, do some mock interviews, and upgrade your skill set. These are the four conditions which I usually recommend people to get improve their chances of getting a job. And of course, professional networking, it's a magic, and that actually works like a charm. We believe we answered your question. So in case you have any more questions, you can reach out to us offline.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sunny.